Well, I'm glad to be here tonight. Thank you guys so much for coming by. I'm super excited to play a little D&D. It's going to be kind of a, short and sweet little session tonight. Not too much craziness going on. So hopefully that's okay with you guys. We probably won't even take up the full amount of time. So we'll just get everything done that we have to get done, and then next week we'll start the next adventure. I kind of tried to time it so that we could start the next adventure when our new player starts, which will be next week. So I didn't want to, start a full session into the next adventure and then have them come in the middle of it. So we will level you guys up and get you back to town and do some cool shopping and give you a little bit of some information about the next adventure and all that cool stuff. And that'll be it.
Okay.
Okie dokes.
Cool. So let's start off. You guys reached 6th level last time, and let's just do it right on stream and get you guys leveled up and see what cool stuff you get. Who wants to go first?
Go ahead, Vampire.
I usually go first. All right.
Cool. Chad Supreme. So I got you pulled up here.
All right, you got it going.
Let's see. You are, still level 5. Awesome. Level plus. So, level 6, do you want to roll or take the average for your HP?
I'll go with the average.
Okay. So you're going to get the plus 7 to your HP. Very nice. It looks like you get a couple new class features possibly, which is a little exciting. See what they are. You can now rage up to 4 times per long rest. I don't know if we've really been tracking how many times you can rage, but now you can do it more.
I have a little counter. I've been tingling it up and down.
Cool.
Tingling's the wrong word, but that's what I call it.
So now you also get mindless rage beginning at 6th level. Let me actually get this pulled up on the screen here. Sorry guys, 1 second. Got stuff going all crazy here. 1 second. Podcast logo. There we go. I had it pulled up and now it's gone. Okay. So mindless rage beginning at level 6. You can't be charmed or frightened while raging, and if you are charmed or frightened when you enter your rage, the effect is suspended for the duration of the rage. That's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's actually like a really good thing, and it just makes so no one has to debuff me or anything like that.
Yeah, and like being able to just, even if you are charmed, you can just enter your rage and then not worry about it until after. That's pretty nice, because most of the time after your rage, everybody's dead, so like then you can just get rid of it at your leisure.
And the funny thing is, in a lot of situations where I would be charmed or frightened, I would go into a rage. So,
right.
I'd naturally just want to cancel it.
Yeah, for sure. If somebody tried to actually frighten you, you would probably not be too happy about that. So
no,
thematically, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I really like this Berserker Barbarian. It really plays into the rage mechanic and just makes you into this crazy beast tank. I love it. I think that's about it. You get a pretty nice HP buff up to 53. You've breached 50 HP. Very nice. Level 6. There you go. Chad Supreme looking good. And of course you get another hit die. Dang, Chad has 40 speed. That is really crazy. You're a beast. All right, Chewy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's jump in here. All right. Do you want to take the average or do you want to roll for your HP?
I normally take the average. I feel lucky tonight. Let's go roll.
Okay. Hey, you beat the average by 1. You got 6.
I'll take it.
Very nice. That'll bump you up to, 46 now? Very nice. Looks like you get a couple new features. Key Empowered Strikes. This is a really good one. Starting at 6th level, your unarmed strikes count as magical. So I think you already had that with a magic item. But now, if you lose that magic item, then you don't even need it. You now have 6 key points. Very good. Your speed increases by 15 feet at 6th level. Oh my goodness.
So now I move 45 feet.
You guys are like super mobile. That's awesome. You can choose another type of weapon to be a Kensei weapon. This weapon can be any simple or martial weapon. The longbow is also a choice. What would you like to pick?
So I got the staff. I got my crossbow. Are are monks allowed to use swords of any type?
This weapon can be any simple or martial weapon that lacks the heavy and special properties. So you could pick any type of short sword, long sword. Can't be a great sword because that's heavy, but a long sword would work. Um, that's probably would be the closest to like a monk wielding like a katana, would be like a long
Right.
sword.
Okay, I'll take that.
Okay, cool. And long swords are able to be wielded either one or two-handed, so that's a pretty versatile choice. I think if you happen to find one, then that's pretty good. All right, Deft Strike. When you hit a target with one of your Kensei weapons, you can spend 1 key point to cause the weapon to do extra damage equal to your martial arts die. You can use this feature once per turn. That's pretty good. It's a lot of extra damage. Magic Kensei weapons. Your attacks with Kensei weapons now count as magical. So if you do happen to find a longsword, it's going to count as a magic longsword.
Cool.
And a Kensei weapon for you. So that's pretty awesome. And I think that is it. You're up to 46 HP. Man, leveling up is so much faster and easier when you don't have any magic users in the party. It's just like, here's your new features. Boom. Which will all change starting next week. I won't spoil anything, but the new player who's going to be joining the party is going to be playing an awesome, awesome class. I'm super excited for you guys. And it'll be a class that will add to the party and help you guys out quite a bit. So, where were we here? We're on the ship. So let's get into it. You guys made your way through the forests of the Ashlands after last time, and sadly parting from Darrow and having to say goodbye to your friend who's been with you guys on this journey. And he went his way with his new people and tried to lead them to a new safe homeland. And you and Elder and First Mate Phil and the crew made your way back to the ship that had been on the coast and kind of made the somber journey back to Aegis, back to your home base to check back in and get some much needed rest and bring the artifact that you found back to the artificer of the Elder Council, Adam Tweed, so he could check it out, see what it is, and see how it can help you in your quest to defeat the Lich who has destroyed this world. And on the journey back, it's like to your liking. It's very uneventful. It's pretty calm weather. It goes by quickly, and mostly the crew just sticks to themselves and does their work. Everyone is kind of like exhausted from everything that's been happening the last couple weeks and months of this adventure with escaping Chance and finding Aegis and immediately leaving Aegis on a new ship and going on another adventure and getting in all these crazy battles and stuff. So everyone's just wore out, and you guys kind of stick to yourselves and just rest and kind of enjoy the first peace and quiet you've had in a while. Is there anything you guys want to do before you get back to home base?
We're on the ship, right?
Yes, sir.
Um,
Hey, Trist, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub. 1 second. Trist, thank you for subscribing. Any subscribers get added to this new list that we've started, and in the community world building streams that we're doing now, we're building a community campaign setting for Dungeons and Dragons, and any subscriber will be added into the world as an NPC or something like that. So thanks a lot for the support. All right, sorry about that, Dr. Feargood. What would you like to do? And if there's nothing that you guys can think of, like, I'm just giving you the chance if you wanted to talk to anybody or check anything out, you can. But other than that, we'll just skip ahead and fast forward the boat journey, and we'll get back to the island.
Yeah,
Sounds
I'm
good.
good to fast forward.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah. Um, so you make your way back to Aegis on the town map here on the stream, and the boat moors in the little cove that first mate Phil's first ship kind of crash landed into on its last leg, and you first saw Vex pulling up to the island on his little rowboat, and you make it back, and the the boat anchors, and the crew kind of does the work to rig up the boat so it's ready to go again, and you make it onto the island and you get back to the little city of Aegis. I guess more of like a small community village than a city. And inside the inn that you've had your meetings with before, you make it in, and Elder immediately like collapses in one of the like pillow type chairs. It's a very kind of Middle Eastern inspired like inn with a bunch of really low tables, and everyone is sitting around drinking tea and talking and
Beanbag.
just enjoying, yeah, kind of like beanbags, like these really fluffy like pillow chairs, and sitting around the tables, and around the table in the back corner the rest of the council is sitting there. You can see Adam Tweed, the council artificer, is just like when you left, he's poring over these books and pages of notes and little trinkets and items, and he's just constantly trying to study all of the things that he's found or that Vex has brought him, and try to gain an advantage and learn all he can about this lich that you guys are trying to defeat. And speaking of Vex, he is sitting there as well, and looks like he has just unloaded some more things onto the table, and they're all talking. And Zadera, the hey, thanks for the host, Sausage. Zadera, the shopkeeper and druid that is sitting there and looking over some of the items that Vex has dropped off, and they're talking about kind of making their game plan or whatever. And they look up and see you as you come in, and they see Elder just plop down in a chair and like immediately just kind of goes to sleep, exhausted. And you all get up to the table where Adam Tweed is looking at everything, and he looks at you and he says, "Well, how did it go? Did you guys find it? Whatever it was?"
Yeah, we got this weird cube thing right here.
Cool. So you like plop the cube down on the table?
Yeah, like I hope it's the right thing. For all Chad knows, like he's like 50-50 on he pulled out the right thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's this weird box.
This is what we came here for, right?
Well, so as soon as you kind of set this cube down, and remember, it's like a foot on each side, or like 1 or 2 feet wide on each side. It's like a pretty substantial, like the size of like a cardboard box, but it's this intricate bronze carved box with all these runes and symbols on it, and it's just like pulsating with this weird magical aura. And you set it down, and Tweed kind of looks at one of his notes, which was the note that he found that signified that the last known place that held this artifact was the Amethyst Caverns, but it didn't really say what it was. And he says, "Well, I have no idea what this is, but it must be it." And he kind of picks it up and starts to look at it, and then he sets it down like very carefully, like stroking his chin and thinking like, "Well, maybe I shouldn't touch it yet. I don't have any idea what it does." Did it seem to have any sort of strange properties while you were traveling with it?
Nothing other than something of the magical entity, but only of a sense. We never really played with it.
He's shakes his head and it's like, "Oh, well, that's probably a good thing. I'll start looking into it and see what it can do and see how it can help us." Where's our other friend, our elf friend?
Oh, Mohawk Chad? Yeah, he went to live with all the snake Chads, and now they're all just making Chad babies or something. It's really gross.
Vex like shakes his head and laughs at that, as he actually knows what you're talking about, Chad, and he just laughs and kind of turns to Tweed and explains, like, Chad translates and explains the village and their troubles and how Darrow stayed behind to help them find a new home. And Tweed understands. He's like, well, I wish he wouldn't have had to abandon the mission, because I think it's so important, but that's a noble cause as well. So that's fine, I guess. And as he says that, you can see there's another member at the table, but you didn't see him at first because this table is kind of a short table, like the rest of them in this inn. Like, people kind of sit cross-leg style and sit around the table. But this guy is like so short that his face barely comes above the table, even though it's short. And you see just this short face with eyes and this red, like, wizard hat sitting above the table. And the wizard hat is like, classic fantasy, like, pointy wizard hat, but it's kind of all disheveled and floppy, and the point is not really sticking up anymore. It kind of just looks like a giant sock or something. And you just see this pair of eyes and this giant red sock hat above the table, and he kind of like pushes himself up, and you see this giant red beard. And Tweed says, "Oh yes, speaking of the mission and the council, we have a new helper, I guess you could say, here in the village." And you hear this dwarven, like, almost Scottish, I guess what you would think is Scottish. Your characters would understand it to be like some type of strange dwarvish language. You hear this like dwarven accent, and this guy pipes up and says, "Helper, I'm a wizard." And Tweed says, "This is Blot.
Kilroy.
This is Blot McGungan, but you can call him Mac." And he says, "That's right, Mac the wizard." He says, "I'm here to help with the mission, but mostly I'm here to make some coin. And I've opened up a shop right next to Zedera's Bazaar. And when we get done here, I'd like to come show you some wares and invite you to take a free sample of what I do." And Tweed pipes in and says, "Be careful there. He's quite the potion maker." And Max says, "The best potion maker in all of this inn."
Cool.
So you see Elder is like totally passed out and exhausted, and Tweet says, "Well, we have some information about the next mission. We have discerned that well, I guess I should explain. We received another group of refugees. Vex helped us find. Do you remember when you left Chance, Chad? There was another boat of people escaping the island."
Yeah, there was another group of Chads fleeing.
Yeah.
What about it?
We believe that group Vex found, and we've managed to save some of them and bring them back to Aegis. And that group is where we found Mac here. But we also got some more information about what exactly is going on back on Chance now, and we have discovered that Lady Rosiel, one of the nobles of Chance, has completely taken over and is causing quite a bit of harm and trying to gather power for the Lich. So it would just happen to be a coincidence that we believe one of the artifacts is under her control, and she's using its power to do all these things. So it seems like that would be the most important thing for you to do next, is get that out of her hands and into our control. So we will continue coming up with a game plan here if you want to resupply yourselves. I think it's probably a good idea to leave Elder here for now and let him rest, and take another party member for next time. So meta, you guys can choose anyone from the council to be like your NPC party member for this next mission. The new dwarf wizard Mac is available to choose, or you can choose Zedera the druid, or Vex the ranger, or Adam Tweed, the artificer. So any of those choices you guys can pick. They'll all be the same level as you, like whatever level you are right now. It's level 6. So you can pick a wizard, ranger, druid, artificer, and they will be like your 4th party member next week, plus your new player who will join next week as well. You guys don't have to pick right now if you don't want to, but if you have any ideas or anything, you can let me know.
I'm down to give the wizard a try.
Okay.
Sure.
Any ideas or anything, Chewy?
I'm just curious, do we need another fighter?
So, I guess Tweed would probably give you the information that like, and your character would know, like you would have heard from everybody by now about like what happened on the City of Chance, which is the place, just to catch everybody up if you haven't seen that far back, or if you weren't here. The City of Chance was like where everyone was kind of taken at first when they first got here, and they were captured and taken there and kind of put into gladiator style enslavement, and then they escaped because the Lich showed up and kind of turned everybody undead, and there was chaos, and they managed to like escape the island and jump ship with first mate Phil and make it all the way back to Aegis here. But you know that it seems to be like now the island seems to be swarming with undead, and from what the accounts of the refugees say, that like the City of Chance is totally overtaken by Lady Rosiel's forces, and she is like a high level magic user of some sort, but they don't know what kind of power the artifact that she might have has, and that's all the information that you have to go off of.
The wizard did.
Okay. So you guys kind of let Tweed know, like, yeah, let's try out this new guy's powers, and Mac stands up from his little pillow, and you finally see him, and he has this red wizard hat that the top.
Voice. Be right back. I can't hear nobody.
Okay. We'll give it 1 second there.
You're back. I got you.
Cool. So Mac stands up, and you see this floppy red wizard hat that. 1 second. Thank you so much, Trist. I've never seen that work before. I guess we have the thing where you donate bits and a funny little crown shows up on my head. That's awesome. Trist, thank you so much for the bits. Oh my goodness, 1,000 bits from Trist. Huge support. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That's awesome. I love the crown too. That's so funny. Hope you're having a good one out there, man. So Max stands up. You see the silly red floppy wizard hat and his giant red like dwarven beard that is like reaching down to the floor, and he's wearing this red robe. He's just like totally covered in this like crimson blood red garb, and his wizard robe, the sleeves are so long that they're covering his arms, and the robe itself is like dragging on the floor behind him. He looks like a dwarf that someone put in like a giant's robes, and he's just like is sunken into these robes, and he looks like he's swimming in this red cloth. And he stands up and he starts to like waddle over to you guys, and he's like, "You've made the best choice you could possibly make. I won't do you wrong. I'll blast every one of those undead fools and take our city back." And he explains that he was from Chance when everything went down.
Oh, no doubt. That's totally Chatical. And I give him like a fist pound, like, let's destroy that place.
He has to like reach way up in the air and like almost like get on his tiptoes just to like reach up and fist bump you. But he's like, absolutely, Chad. It's good to finally meet you guys. I've been hearing a lot of you from the council here, so glad to have you back. And whenever you're ready, let's go check out my store, and you can see the amazing wares that I have.
All right, let's do that. Unless there's something else that we need to do first.
What was that, Chewy?
Chewy reaches down and rubs his little head.
You like ruffle his head
His
and
hat.
the floppy like red wizard hat kind of flops around a little bit, and he's like tries to you can tell he's self-conscious of it, and he wants to like make it like stick up and be pointy and like a cool brand new wizard hat again, but it just flops over, and he's like, blasted thing, these old robes. And he just like, well, he like pats you on the arm while you do it, and he starts hobbling away, and he's like, all right, I'll be at the shop. It's right next to Zadera's. You can't miss it. And Tweed sends you off with some parting words. He's like, yep, go get stocked up and be ready to go. You know, this might be a little bit more serious than your last quest. It's a full city, and Chad, you know what happened when you left there. The whole place was in chaos and disarray, and who knows how much worse it's gotten now in the last couple weeks. So be prepared for anything.
As long as there's no statues.
Well, hopefully not. Who knows?
I guess we go to the shop.
Okay.
Let's go to Zadara's. Or no, let's go to his first.
So she is there also. Like, she was saying around the table, and when he took off to the store, she kind of starts slowly walking behind, and she passes you guys on the way out, and she's like, let me say some things before you head down there. Mac, as the newest member of our council here, he's trying very hard to fit in and be helpful, and he's a very stubborn little man, and he's doing the best he can with this shop. So just give him a chance, and don't make him feel too bad. And she just laughs, and she's like, if you actually need to resupply and get some gear, you guys know where I'm at. And she heads off to her shop.
Oh, and then I like tap her on the shoulder as like she starts walking away. I'd be like, you got any more new Chatical stuff for us to check out this time?
She actually like has this armful of cloth that you can see a bunch of items sticking out of, and she's like, oh yeah, we got plenty of new stuff to check out when you get there, and I'm sure there's something you could find at Mac's store as well. So
all right, we'll check you later then.
She gives you a nod and quickly runs off towards the store. And I don't know if you guys remember, she's like a centaur woman, so just giant, like half horse, half woman, just huge, imposing figure. But she's also like a druid and very, very kind and understanding. And she just is laughing about what she's been trying to hint at with Mac, and heads off to her store. You guys ready to rock?
Yeah, we're just going straight there.
Cool. So on the map on the stream, if you guys or anybody can see in the like bottom left-ish corner where you can see all those tents and little like grocery stalls and stuff like that, the one in the top corner of that little section, the kind of yellow and red striped tent in the top corner of that little area, is Zadera's tent, and it's her shop is called Zadera's Bazaar of Wonders. And right next to it now, there's the little tent on the right. If you can see the very little one, kind of directly under that pillar in the middle of town.
Yeah.
That is Mac's new store, and you can see this sign out front when you get there, and it says Mac's Potion Commotion. And the sign is like a little wooden sign, and it's just like red like paint. It looks like a little child crayon drawing, and commotion is spelled just completely wrong. And you can see the flap is like pinned open with a clothespin, and you can see a little red robe kind of sticking out, and like it was trailing behind him, and it's like 6 feet too long for him, and it's just a mess. And as you walk up, you can see he got there just a minute before you guys did, and he started to set up the table and put everything out on the table before you got there. And there's barely enough room in this tent for this little guy and his table, so you kind of have to stand outside of the tent and look in and see what he's got. And he's like placing stuff on the table as you show up, and he as you get there, he like tries to make himself look really tall, and he's like welcome friends to the Potion Commotion, and he whispers, and magical bag store. And he stands there and he like gives you guys this hand gesture towards the table that he's put out. It looks like a little folding card table, but even smaller than normal. And he gestures towards the table and he says, please feel free to browse the wares and ask any questions you'd like. And you can see on this table, he has set up a couple things. There's a little bag that looks like a pouch of seeds that you would buy at like a greenhouse, like a pouch of seeds for planting. And there's a little empty wooden bowl and there's a little empty metal bowl. And then you can see this broom, and then you can see a bunch of potions sitting there. And he like gestures and he's like really wide-eyed looking at you guys like he's waiting for this onslaught of questions that you're going to ask him about his just miraculous array of magical items here.
Chad doesn't have any questions, and then Chad turns to leave and walk away.
He like raises his voice at you. He's like, no, like, please, this you can't go without this stuff. If I'm to accompany you on this next quest, you have to bring some of these items. They're invaluable. He says, at least grab some potions. You can't live without potions, right? I brewed them myself. They're the most powerful potions in the land.
I'm still walking out.
He just like, his hat like flops even more sadly, and he just looks defeated. And he's like, turns to Chewie, and he's like, Chewie, you'll try some of my wares, right?
What do you have?
And he picks up the wooden bowl. It's just this empty wooden bowl, and he's like, this is a magic bowl. I'm not really sure what it does, but I know it's a magic bowl. And he sets it down. And then he picks up the broom and he's like, this is a broom of flying. And he holds it and he lets it go, and it actually does like hover in the air. And then he grabs it and sets it back down. And he's like, rummages through all the potions on the table, and he's like, we've got every sort of potion that you could want. Healing potions, invisibility potions, anything that you can imagine, I can brew it up. And he's got about 4 different bottles of potions on the table. And he's like, please, anything you'd like.
How much for the broom?
He says, well, make me an offer.
Make an offer. Well, I actually haven't seen it fly. Just
he like strokes his beard and he's like, now, I know that we're newly acquainted, but please don't insult my honesty here. This is a certified broom of flying. But I'll give you a deal on it. And he says, I'll let it go for 1,500 gold.
Oh, it's a little steep. I think I'm gonna have to pass on that.
He's like, all right. How about the wooden bowl of magic, or the metal bowl of magic even? And he says, I'll let you have either one of these, your choice, for 1,500 gold.
Nah, I followed Chad out the door.
Okay. So you guys are like not having anything of max potion commotion. And do you guys head over to Zadera's?
Definitely.
Yes.
Okay. Man, not even giving Mac a chance. You guys head over.
Like overpriced.
You head over to. Sorry. So you head over to Zadera's bazaar, and as soon as you walk in the door, she's like, wow, you you guys didn't find anything at Max? I can't believe it. And she just starts
No.
like howling, laughing. And when you walk into her tent is like much nicer, much more room. There's like nicely laid out items on all the tables, and it's like very she's sitting there like waiting for you to greet you when you come in. And as you get there, Mac comes like running up behind you guys, and he's like, "Oh, wait, guys, come on!" And he like stands there and hangs out while you guys do your shopping at Sedaris, and he's just like bummed out the whole time, but he's like trying to be a part of the group.
You know, we haven't like left yet, so you can like, maybe there's gonna be someone who's gonna go and maybe want that potion that you have, or that. Oh, what about that metal bowl? Maybe you gotta go get that.
And he's like, he stares at you like I know you're trying to poke fun at me, but believe me, those are certifiable magic items, sir.
Yeah, well, that's why you gotta attend to them and sell them. Like, why do we have to be the center of attention?
He's like, all right, well, please give me another chance when you have time. And he hands both of you a sample free potion. And it's like a little, alchemical bottle with a cork in it. And he hands one to you, Chad, and one to you, Chewy. And it looks to you like a standard, greater healing potion. And he hands you both one. He's like, please, just take this as a token of good faith that I'm here to help. And he just heads back to the store. So you guys can add those to your inventories on Roll20 if you'd like, and it's a greater healing potion or a greater potion of healing, whatever. But make sure if you add it into your inventory, you title it something that it's like, this is Mac's greater healing potion. Yeah, it was brewed by Mac. And
Roger.
so
We'll catch you later, bud.
he like stumbles back over to his little tent, and you can see him sitting there and kind of just grumbling to himself, and he picks up the wooden bowl and like throws it back down on the table. And Zadara's just laughing this whole time. She's like, well, welcome to the Bazaar of Wonders. Would you guys like to see some actual items here today?
Yeah, for sure. I just don't like it when other people watch me shop. I know it can hear me. I just like when they watch. So what do you have today?
She kind of has this selection laid out on the table and says, well, Vex was quite busy while he was occasionally watching over you guys in the Ashlands. He also found a lot of items on his journey and brought them back. And she starts flipping through stuff and picking things up to show you guys, and she picks up the first thing that she sees, and you see a couple of items that she had last time, like not all of the inventory that she had was gone, and she picks up this like magical harp and strums it, and she had it from last time, and she sets it down. She's like, well, I don't really think that either of you guys are in the market for a magical harp. I guess you kind of lost your bard. And she strums it, and it just like keeps playing itself while it's sitting on the counter even after she like set it back down. And this harp music is playing in the background, and she starts picking up some other things. She picks up this shield that was sitting there that has this insignia on it that's kind of like worn away, and it looks like a really old ancient like round shield, and this was not there last time. And she picks it up and she holds it out in front of her like it's strapped onto her arm, and she just like bangs on the shield with her other arm, and the shield just like floats off of her arm and just hovers in place, like guarding her in front of her, but her hands are no longer like attached to it, and it just seems to be floating there. And she says, Chad, try to hit me.
Chad, and then Chad goes for like a headbutt.
And the shield just like instantly moves like right in front of the area where you're trying to attack her, and it just like deflects your attack. And she explains like, this is an animated shield. It allows the user like the benefits and defensive properties of a shield without having to actually wield it in your hands. So you can use a two-handed weapon but still have a shield.
That sounds totally chatical.
She lets it like float in the air off to the side and kind of sets it aside for a minute. She says, "Well, we'll leave that there. Seems like you might be interested in it." She pulls out this like really fancy suit of armor, and it's just like a shining like golden breastplate, and sets it on the counter as well, and says, "This is as far as I know, nothing crazy and magical about this. It's just your standard +1 armor, like in meta terms." And she says, looks at both of you. "Do you guys wear armor? Are you interested in this at all?"
Afraid not.
No, but Chad wears gold.
She's like, "Well, it is made out of gold, but well, I'll set this aside too, I guess." And she looks at you like quizzically. She says, "Well, here's a couple of things that were available last time that I still have. We haven't found a buyer yet. It seemed like you guys may have been interested."
Genie lamp.
Yeah, she says, "It seems like you guys may have been interested in this stuff last time, but couldn't afford it. So maybe your fates have changed." And she pulls out a this book and a bottle and a cube from under the counter and sets them on the table. And you recognize this book from last time you were here, Chad, and it has all these strange symbols on it, and it's like this solid black book. And she says, "Last time I didn't really know what this did, but we've since kind of inspected it a little bit with Tweed, and he figured out that this is the manual of golems." And she like slides the book towards the two of you. She says, "Whoever possesses this book gains the magical power to summon a golem at the small price of a little blood," she says. How does that sound?
Chad likes that idea.
She says, "Well, I believe from what we've deciphered, it allows you to, once per certain section of time, you can sacrifice a little bit of your blood to the pages of the book and summon a flesh golem to aid you. And it's pretty advanced,
Flesh golem.
dark.
I was thinking, like earth golem. That's some dark.
It
Chad stuff.
seems to be certainly some powerful dark magic, but it's ancient and we don't really know where it came from. Are you interested in it?"
Yeah, we will. I definitely have my eye on it.
Okay, she slides that to the side as well. And
what about the cube? What do you know what it does?
so the cube, I don't know if you guys know what this is. This is like an actual. A lot of this stuff so far has been like I made it up, but the cube is a cube of force. I think maybe one of the Goblin Squad got a cube of force in the White Plume Mountain. It's like a magical cube that has a bunch of different effects. It's in the Dungeon Master's Guide. It's like a real 5e magic item. But it's a cube that you can like push the button on it, and it has this force magic that can emit a big force field around you and protect you from damage.
How much you want for it?
She says, I'd get rid of the cube for 2,000 gold.
I don't know. A gentleman over there was offering me a nice silver bowl, metal bowl for 1,500.
She laughs and she says, "Well, that is a certified magic silver bowl."
Well, I can't even put food in your cube.
She like raises an eyebrow at that. She's like, "No, you cannot. I'll give you a deal on the cube if you guys purchase some other items, I suppose."
Chad definitely will purchase one, if not several items.
She perks up at that. She's like, "Well, good to know. I do have some more to show you." And the bottle that you inquired about earlier,
What does it do again?
She picks it up. This is also like technically a magic item. Let me go to the Dungeon Master's Guide here in my website, but it is like a real magic item, but I'm gonna have to like change it a little bit because I think the actual item is from like old school D&D and it's like crazy overpowered. But it's in a 3D bottle. It's a genie lamp essentially. It's a painted brass bottle and it weighs about 1 pound. She picks it up. It's this fancy long, like it looks like a vial, but instead of a cork, it's got more of like a glass topper on it. Looks like a kind of like a wine bottle, but it's got all this painted fancy symbology and stuff on the outside of it. You can't see into it. You can, the first time the bottle is open,
Boy.
a genie, an Ifriti pops out of it, which is just one of the types of genies in D&D. It pops out of it and something happens. Zadera explains, I am not brave enough to open this. I don't know what will happen. There are legends of people who have dealt with the Ifriti before, and many of them have come upon great magical boons and wishes and riches, and some of the people have ceased to exist. Who knows? Anything could happen. I certainly don't want to open it, but it could aid us in our quest quite a bit if the genie decides to be helpful. But certainly it won't be for me to find out. She hands you the bottle, Chad. She's like, how does it feel? Is it something you're interested in?
Well, Chad knows his way around the market, if anything, and Chad feels like this is expensive.
She says, "Well, I must admit this is the most valuable item I own. Although it's scary and dangerous, its potential is limitless. Who knows what could happen? Genies have been known to grant wishes. This I would have to get probably about 4,000 gold for."
Wow, that's a lot of moolah. Well, fortunately, now that means Chad doesn't have to make a choice because Chad doesn't have that much money.
She says, "Well, I'll hang on to it," and she puts the bottle back under the thing. And then when she puts it back under the table, she's like, "Oh yeah, how could I forget?" And she like claps her hands, and the carpet that she's standing on just begins floating up in the air, and she's like standing on this flying carpet. She's like, "I don't really go anywhere, so this old thing might be of use to you as well."
How much does this go for?
She says, "Well, I have a little bit of an affinity for this carpet, but it is a little bit old and run down. I'll give you guys this for 2,000."
I really want it, but a lot of the new items you showed are really cool, so I think we'll have to save it till next time.
She says, "I understand," and just like lowers herself down to the ground.
Plus, it gives you time to part with it and say your goodbyes.
She's like, "Thank you, Chad. I appreciate that." So you, in the pile of stuff that you guys set aside that you might be interested in, there's the Cube of Force, the Manual of Golems, the Animated Shield, and there's the +1 armor.
Well, neither one of us can use armor. I didn't think.
Yeah.
Chad just said that he liked gold, so she set it aside. So if you're not interested, she'll put it away.
I don't actually want that. I think like what I was interested in was just the shield and the book.
Okay. She looks at Chewie. She's like, "Anything?"
Well, you say if we bought something else, you said you give me a deal on the Cube of Force. So,
right.
Deal?
Well, she looks at the shield and the book. She says, the manual of golems and the shield, I really wanted to get about 3,000 a piece for those. But I'll give you guys a break. You can choose either the book or the shield and the cube, and I'll give you the 2 items for 3,000. How does that sound?
I think that sounds like more than fair of a deal. I guess I'll take this shield.
I'll take the cube.
She's like, all right, fair enough. And you guys, I'm assuming you're gonna split it, or
Yeah,
okay,
right down the middle. 15, 15.
1,500
Yeah.
gold a piece. All right, yeah. Subtract that from your total. And if you guys, I don't know how much money you guys have. I didn't even look. I probably should have. But if there is anything else, if you still want to buy the golem book or whatever, you can do that as well, Chad.
I like that you didn't, and no, actually, I can't afford it.
Okay.
No.
I tried to think of like how much you guys have earned so far and make it like an actual kind of realistic economy, but I didn't know
At the
if this
start,
stuff was like
I had-
way too expensive or what.
Yeah, no, at the start I had 2,500, if you're wondering, and I was
I had
trying
two-
to
I had-
hoard.
Yeah, I had 2,000. So.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Cool. Well, and this will be like meta, but I promise you that max potion commotion is not like a janky joke. It is, but like they are actual magic items if you guys want to buy them, and they're probably worth checking out.
Like, is the broom like legit just like a cheaper carpet? Like, what is
yeah,
that?
it's a broom of flying. It legit
because like it
works.
holds less people. and
Yes.
stuff?
You guys could use it.
But
like
is it like unlimited, or is it like something that like has like charge or like?
no, it's
like,
just a regular broom of
Oh,
flying. The
okay.
so the carpet of flying would be like a legit like magic carpet. You guys could take the whole party on it and fly wherever you needed to go. The broom of flying would be like you guys could like sit on it together and it would like hover like 5 feet off the ground and go really slow.
5 feet. Oh my god! And it's slow. Like how it's like 5 miles an hour. Like you could walk faster.
No, it's faster than walking speed. It would be like a slight improvement. It'd be like taking a really crappy bus somewhere. Like it'd be really uncomfortable and horrible, but it's technically faster than walking.
It's a very good description.
Yeah.
It's got weight limits if I remember.
Yeah, well, you guys would definitely like surpass the weight limit. That's why it kind of just like gets bogged down and goes super slow, but you could still like ride it together if you wanted.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for all the support, Trist. Appreciate it, man. Have a good night.
That's a bit of a joke, but I like it. It gives us options.
And like, if you guys, this is super. I'm just kind of speaking out of character here or whatever, but if you guys have a broom of flying and just one person needs to use it for something, then it would work just fine, you know? Like if you had to fly somewhere in a dungeon or something and one person just needed to go do it really quickly, it would work perfectly.
Oh, you mean like it's only like slow if like we both use it?
Yeah, it's not like it's not always like a piece of crap. It's just like
that's what I thought. I was just like, wow, like that's a pretty bad broom.
No. No, it's like think of like the Harry Potter brooms that they ride, you know?
Yeah, I
like,
instantly saw Harry Potter what you said.
Yeah, they're sweet. Like it's a regular like flying broom,
Yeah.
but if you put like 3 giant human people on it, it would probably not work very well.
For some reason, I just pictured just like it was just like always like that. So just
like a broke down van.
Yeah. It's like he made it. Like it's like he spent his whole life like casting his spell, and it's just like this is his accomplishment. It's just like he's trying to sell it now. He's trying to make up for it. It's just like okay, like that's what he has.
You're kind of on the right track with how he operates, but the broom is legit.
Okay. Well, that's cool. That's a little bit better. I think a little bit higher of him now.
Nice.
I don't know if he knows that, but like mentally, Chad.
He is still just like kind of grumbling in his tent, like sad.
Well, maybe if he lowers his prices, he'll You won't have
He's like definitely willing to haggle with you guys.
to wooden bowl.
So
Yeah.
Zadera packages up your things, gives you your shield, and gives you your cube of force, Chewie.
Okay.
How do I even use shields? Like meta, I have zero clue.
So
Like,
the animated shield, you don't have to like be able to use a shield. That's kind of what's cool about it. Since normally you wouldn't use a shield because you're using a two-hander. This shield, you just speak. It's like magic word, which I'll let you choose whatever you want the command word for your shield to be.
Chad.
There you go. And whenever you speak it and like tap on the front of the shield, it will just start floating and like protect you, which mechanically you just get +1 AC.
Cool.
Yeah.
Talk to the shield.
And
shield,
yeah, you
Chad
can.
ain't listening.
Yeah, you can give it a name or a magic word or passphrase or whatever you want to do there. But you can just like sling it on your back until you're ready to use it, and then if you speak the word, it'll just kind of like pop out and float in front of you, and it'll protect you.
All right, Chadicus, I'll use you later. And I like slink it onto my back.
Nice. And Chewy, let me see here. Let me get it pulled up. The cube of force. Let me make sure I don't need to make any last minute changes to how this item works. If you look up the cube of force in your Dungeon Master's Guide under the magic items section, it's a cube about an inch across, so it's just a little square cube like the size of a D6. And I think it's supposed to kind of like be a D6, and it has 36 charges, and it regains 1 D20 charge at each day. You can use an action to press one of the sides of the cube. Each face of the cube has a different little symbol on it, and you can press a face, and you get a little bit of an effect from it. So if you press the face number 1, so just think of it as a D6. If you push 1, then it uses up 1 charge of the cube, and it creates a barrier that gas, wind, and fog can't pass through. If you press number 2,
That'll save me from Chad, right?
Yeah. If you press number 2, non-living matter can't pass through it. So protect yourself from like walls, floors, ceilings, rocks, that type of stuff. Number 3 is living matter. So like any people couldn't pass through it. Number 4 is spells. Number 5 is nothing can pass through it. So it's like a total protect you from everything. And then if you push 6, it deactivates the barrier. So you can look that up in your DMG and get the details on how it works and everything like that. But it's pretty nice little effect, kind of a force field generator.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else from Zadera?
No, unfortunately.
All right. Well, when you guys leave her shop, she explains maybe give Mac another chance, and she says his items, who knows the quality of those things. That she laughs, but she says he is quite a powerful wizard. I don't think that you've made a mistake in choosing him for your next mission. I just don't know about his skills as a potion maker or anything like that. So you'll have to find that out on your own. But he seems like a trustworthy and good addition to the team. I just like to give him a little hell sometimes, and she just jokes.
Okay.
Sends you guys on your way.
All right, thanks. See ya.
So
Guess we'll go back to Max and make him happy, maybe.
you guys don't have to. I just whatever you want to do.
I think I don't know. Chad's gonna wander back over to the council.
That sounds good.
Okay.
Keep a little change.
Yeah, I gotta save up for that book, man.
As you guys walk past, you see him he lights up a little bit when he sees that you left Zadera's, and then he just takes off his hat and puts it in his lap, and he shrinks down into his seat when he sees you walking by, and you walk across the middle of the courtyard in the center of the village over towards the inn, and as you walk across this crazy beam of golden divine light appears from the sky and opens up from this cloud, and it looks like Independence Day, like this laser beam just shoots down into the center of the city, and we camera shoots out and we move, and you see White Plume Mountain, and we're in a different scene now, and you can see the Goblin Squad kind of stumbling their way down White Plume Mountain, and they're all carrying this hoard of treasure that they've gathered, and you can see all the magic items that they looted from the adventure in White Plume Mountain, and they're all stumbling their way down, and they as they're walking, they're all joking at each other like, man, we're the best group of adventurers that's ever lived. We totally kicked that mountain's ass, and we got all this sweet gear. We're pretty much the best team ever now. They should have sent us to kill the Lich. And they're all just stumbling their way down the mountain like, well, we better take all this sweet loot back to the council and see what's next for us. And they're kind of arguing with each other. Clack says well, which way is back to the council? Which way is back to the island? I don't really remember how we got here. It's been a while. We've been in the dark in the caves for a while. And they see this giant radiating beam of energy shoot down from the sky, miles and miles and miles away from where they are, out over the ocean. And they all look at that beam, and they all look at each other, and they're like, that's weird. Well, it's probably not that way. And they all turn and start going in the wrong direction. And you see the Goblin Squad kind of walk off into the distance, and wonder if there might be another Goblin Squad adventure coming in the future, and we'll see what happens to them. The greatest adventuring party of all time. And I think, unless you guys had any more questions or anything that you wanted to add, I think that's where we're going to leave it off, on a little bit of a cliffhanger this week with the golden beam of light entering down into the city of Aegis.
Okay. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Questions, comments, concerns, complaints?
My complaint is, I don't know. I'm having buyer's remorse.
Okay, you can absolutely exchange this stuff
I don't know. I feel like maybe I should, because I had some idea in my head that the shield would do it one or two or more to my AC. So if it's only one, I was just maybe it'd be better to just summon flesh golem.
Sure. You that's something that you could have been explained to before you bought it, so you totally would know what the full effects of the shield would do before you bought it. Chad would know how much defense a shield would add to his combat, So if you want the manual of golems, then that's fine. It was the same price, so
yeah, they were the same price.
Just so consider that the thing that you bought. That's fine.
Yeah, and I'll just eye the shield for the next time. Okay.
Cool. So
I appreciate that.
The manual of golems, this is something that I created myself. This is a homebrew item. So once per long rest, you can spend 2 of your hit dice worth of HP. So you roll 2 hit die and subtract that from your current HP, you're slicing your palm open and bleeding and putting the blood onto this book.
onto the pages.
Yep, you're like giving a blood sacrifice to the book, and once every long rest you can do that and summon a flesh golem that lasts for 10 minutes, and you can control it entirely. And the flesh golem is like an actual monster in the monster manual. If you Google like 5e flesh golem, it's a real thing, and it's like a CR5 monster, so it's equivalent to an entire party worth of 5th level adventurers. So
What?
once per day you can summon a flesh golem, and it will like join the battle or do whatever you want, jump off a cliff, whatever you want it to do.
That's awesome, dude. They're huge, 500 pounds.
Did you look it up?
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. 8 feet average.
Nice.
Jesus
Papa
Christ.
Hal, welcome to the stream. Papa Hal says we killed one of those things today. Nice. Papa Hal just got done with his D&D session. They must have fought a flesh golem. That's awesome.
And it's destiny I pick up this book.
So if you remember in White Plume Mountain, when you guys went into that room with the prime numbers, do you remember that?
Oh yeah, and I like instantly got it wrong.
The guardian in that room that was like freaking out about the prime number puzzle, that thing was a flesh golem.
Oh yeah.
So you can like summon one of those things to aid you in combat once per long rest, at the price of some health.
Yeah. That's cool. That's awesome. Yeah, once per long rest.
Yep.
Sick.
Once per long rest, costs 2 hit die worth of HP to use, and then it lasts for 10 minutes of commanding the golem. Which 10 minutes in D&D is like, that's long enough that it would last throughout any battle you could want to use it for.
Yeah, you could almost use it for 2 battles if like they're like close or like in rooms.
Right, yeah, because one round in combat is 6 seconds, so that's
like 10 rounds is like a minute or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's plenty of time, hopefully. Cool. Anything else? You guys all good from there?
No, I'm actually really happy.
Cool. So the golden light beam like pierces down onto the big like obelisk type pillar that's in the middle of town that you see there, and you see this body in the light, bathed in the light, slowly start to like be beamed down, and then another one, and then the light like blinds you guys, and that'll be where we leave it off for today.
Epic.
So we will start here, same place where we left off next week, and we will have our new player Pickle Deer, hopefully, playing an awesome new character, and then we'll begin the Castle Bronze adventure, which I will have the full adventure for that written up. If anyone's interested, it'll be posted on the Patreon probably the day before or the day of the next session. The full PDF with all the maps and cool stuff in it. For any patrons, obviously, if you guys are part of the campaign, you could look at it, but don't spoil yourself if you don't want to. No, you're all good, Papa Hal. We're just ending a little bit early tonight because we just had a little bit of housekeeping and leveling up and stuff to do today. Not a super exciting session. So to our players, thank you guys for putting up with it. I'm sorry that it wasn't more exciting, but stuff we had to get done, and I didn't want to bring a new player into the party and then have them have to sit through all of this junk. So we'll start everything fresh next week with a new adventure, and should be good to go.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for having us, man.
Cool. Thank you.
All right, we'll catch you next week.
Sounds good. Thanks, man. See you guys. All right. So to the rest of everyone, thank you very much for tuning into the stream. I apologize if it was a little less than exciting today. I know it's just stuff that we had to get done, but I thought it was pretty cool. Tried to show off some new magic items and a silly little dwarf character that I came up with. I definitely did not get the reaction that I wanted to from Mac, but hopefully, since they did pick him to go with him on this next adventure, which I'm excited about. This is like my favorite NPC that I've ever made. He is absolutely ridiculous. Just imagine like a fat little Santa Claus dwarf, but he's just in robes that are like way too big. There's a new NPC named Mac. His actual name is Blot, what is his real name? It's Blot Magungus, but he goes by Mac, and he's a little dwarf with a red beard and red robes and a red wizard hat. But the robes are like 10 feet too long, and he's just like swimming in these robes. He looks like a little kid running around in like Gandalf's clothes or something, but it's all solid red. He's a dwarf wizard, and he's also a like amateur potion maker, and he is going to be the NPC party member that they take with on the next adventure. You don't see many dwarf wizards. I think that's what's exciting about it, and that might be for good reason. I'm not sure if I'm not sure if he's going to be the wizard that you're expecting or the wizard that you guys deserve. So I'm excited to see how it goes. He's interesting. He's one of my favorite wizard subclasses as well that you guys will find out about next week. I'll get the entire character sheet for Mac posted up, and I'll post it for you guys on Patreon and Twitch and Twitter and all that good stuff. If you guys want to check out Mac and play him in one of your own games, or if you're a DM and you want to use Mac as an NPC in one of your games, I think that'd be amazing. I think I'm gonna probably put Mac in like every one of my games from now on because he's like the best. If he flubs this mission, he's out forever. Well, well, we'll see what happens. At least you have someone that can make healing potions, right? Like, that's pretty sweet. He's amazing. He kind of is like Patches, Papa Howell. That's actually a really good call. He's not like an evil guy who's trolling the party on purpose, like purposely trying to be deceptive and for his own means. I think Mac is just like, he's not I don't know. I don't want to spoil anything. He's a good guy. He's not like Patches in that way. He's just like, he's really silly. I am excited about it. Divination, or he's a scrub? No, he's definitely not a divination wizard, although I do like divination a lot. He is he's something else. All right. Well, I think, let me see. Yeah, divination is pretty cool. I really hope that I get to play in a campaign sometime soon. I would like to check out maybe a wizard. I don't know. There's so many things I want to play. Like pretty much every class and subclass combination I would like to play in a campaign eventually. You know what I mean? I'm pretty excited. Dr. Feargood is running some cool one-shot D&D adventures and stuff that he invited me to play in, and I made up a couple characters. I made a really cool halfling cavalier fighter, which cavaliers are like, the mounted fighters, but I made a halfling cavalier that rides on a mastiff, like a dog, and that's like actually legal from Player's Handbook and Dungeon Master's Guide. Character building, you can buy a mastiff with your starting money, and they're like 50 gold or something like that. And halflings are small size characters, so they can actually ride on the backs of these giant dogs and use them as their mounts. So a mounted cavalier fighter halfling on a mastiff dog is going to be one of my characters for his one-shot adventures. I'm super excited to play. He's going to be a knight, like can't remember his name that I gave him, but he's like Sir something, the halfling knight on a dog, and I'm looking forward to playing that guy with a longsword or something. Yeah, he's going to be pretty fun. I made a couple of really cool characters for Dr. Feargood's campaigns. That's what your gnome did in Dragon Heist, but a wizard, a gnome wizard on a mastiff. That's awesome. I think a lot of people use those for their mounts for their small characters. That seems pretty cool. Gnome wizard, that's awesome, man. Well, cool. Thank you guys so much for coming by. I really appreciate it. Tomorrow is the next episode of the podcast. If you guys would like, I haven't a long sword as a lance for a halfling, right? Like way bigger than what they could normally handle. So I haven't decided what the monster manual entry that we're going to check out is tomorrow for the podcast. So since you guys are here and you're so kind to spend your time checking out the campaign and hanging out in the stream, if you guys would like to give me suggestions on what monster you'd want me to check out for tomorrow's podcast, then let me know. Mind Flayer? Okay. Slad? Okay. I actually used the Slad in this campaign way earlier on in the first dungeon that we did when the players escaped from the City of Chance. I used a red Slad and they killed it, and they didn't really know what it was, and I didn't spoil it or explain it or anything, but they killed it. And I like Slads a lot. I would like to use them more heavily in a campaign in the future. They're pretty cool. Mind Flayers, however, are awesome as well. I'm super excited about them. Maybe we can go over Mind Flayers and talk about Baldur's Gate and the new Baldur's Gate book that's coming out. Descent to Avernus comes out, I believe, next week. So some big stuff to talk about. Maybe that's what we'll do. But yeah, podcast, same place, same time tomorrow. We will go over Baldur's Gate, some Mind Flayers. Here in the next couple weeks, we'll probably do an episode on Beholders. You know, want to get all the big D&D iconic monsters out of the way. And then we'll get into some of the weirder individual stuff, you know. I think that's it, though. If can't think of anything else. Thank you guys so much for coming by the campaign today. Thanks for all the support. I know you already took off Trist, but thank you so much for the 1,000 bits and the 3-month resub with Twitch Prime. Like, that really helps out a lot, man. Thank you so much. Wow, off stream, didn't see this, didn't get a notification for it, but Donald one of our old players, good friend of mine, haven't seen him in a while, been busy. He resubbed, and the host from Vampire King and Sausage, thank you guys for the hosts. Hey. All right, since you've so kindly supported with 6 gift subs now, I know you guys can't see it on the stream, but Papa Howl, you've been added to the supporter list to be added as an NPC into the game world, and Vampire King, of course you have as well. Thank you for the gift sub, and Vampire King, welcome back to the Elder Council. 7 months of subscriptions now, and Papa Howl with the 6 gift subs. Thank you so much, man. You guys are all supporters, of course. So what that means, like in the future, when we get to that part of creating the world, if you guys want to be an NPC, or if you want to name a city or a street in the capital city after yourselves, or a magic item or anything like that, I'll kind of let you guys pick and choose. And you can pick what the name is too. It doesn't have to be, you know, Vampire King Boulevard. You can pick whatever name and place or item or person you want it to be, and we'll put it into the world before we publish it. Mongo Jesus, there you go. I can be the crazy homeless religious guy that lives in the capital city and talks about his ideas. Will be Mongo Jesus. Love it. Thank you for the support, Papa Howl. Very cool of you. So, Vampire Boulevard, very nice. I think that's actually pretty cool. We could come up with something interesting for that. Maybe the dark side of town where they think that vampires still roam. That'd be interesting. All right, we're gonna cut it off there. I gotta go and get some work done around the house. Might go hit the gym or hang out with the girlfriend for a little bit and work on the adventure for next week. I've got a lot to do for creating Castle Bronze. It's going to be a big adventure. This one is actually going to cover 2 levels this time. All of the previous dungeons we've done have been like a 1-level adventure, you know, from level 5 to 6 was the Amethyst Caverns. You guys will start Castle Bronze at level 6, and when you get done, you'll be level 8 if you survive. So that should be pretty exciting. And then from there, after Castle Bronze, we've got one more adventure to get to level 9, and then the final adventure. Excuse me. To get to level 10 and finish the campaign. We're kind of closing in. We still have quite a bit of time left, I would imagine. You know, each adventure has taken 2, 3, 4 weeks at this time, but only, you know, 2, 3 more adventures, and then the campaign will be coming to a close. It's been a crazy journey. Thank you guys for being a part of it. Vampire Boulevard, where people disappear. Oh God, Papa Hal. Yeah, I don't know about that. Hey, Smart, thank you so much for coming by the stream. We're just about to end it today. We had a shorter session of D&D today. The characters just leveled up and purchased some magic items and kind of restocked their inventories for their upcoming adventure. Next week, we'll be adding a new player to the campaign because we lost one last time, and we found a kind replacement that is willing to play some D&D with us every Wednesday. So next week we will be adding Pickle Deer to the party and embarking on our next adventure called Castle Bronze, where the players go and try and find out some more information about what this lich is up to and how to stop him. So, yes, hype, all the hype. Thank you so much for coming by to say hi and get all hyped up. I appreciate that. It's always cool to see you, even if it's just for a minute. Hopefully you can make it tomorrow to the live podcast, same time, same place, all that good stuff. And if you guys haven't checked it out already, I've been doing a lot more work on YouTube lately. So the last episode of the world building stream is available for viewing on YouTube. And yesterday's episode will be back up on there before next week. So you can always stay caught up and add your ideas into the world building. And the live podcast from last week will be available to view on YouTube tomorrow before the next episode goes live tomorrow night. So check all that stuff out. Let me know what you think. I'll be doing more and more and more YouTube as time goes on. I think YouTube's a great place for the D&D community. A lot more people are active over there, and hopefully we can get some people to check out the stuff over there and bring them to the stream so they can enjoy the gameplay and stuff like that. So thank you guys so much for all the support and everything. If you ever have any ideas or suggestions or concerns, comments, complaints, all that stuff about what we're doing, what we should be doing, the channel, the game, anything, feel free to let me know. Thank you again. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good rest of your night, and thanks again for playing and for watching. You guys rock. Now, thank you for coming by. It's good to see you. Enjoy your night, everybody.